What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY review, we're going to go, well, old school. This is going to be one solid review. I'm not splitting things up. And we're going to actually do a proper box review, like I have not done in a while. And this is, of course, one of the newer kits from Flame Toys, and it is the Transformers Furai model kit Optimus Prime IDW version. And so we've looked at the attack mode Prime a couple times already, the regular one, the Nemesis Prime, and for those of you who have seen it so far, potentially on my Patreon, otherwise, the custom version that I did that I made look like Ultra Magnus. But this is a very, very different kit, and as when we look at it, Flame Toys has really done some different things with this. But right off the bat, we've got some very nice artwork here depicting Prime. On Cybertron? No, it's not. It's gotta be on Earth because you got Union Park right there, just fighting somebody. Got some nice explosion effects going on there. And there's some glowy bits here on his gun, the lights, his eyes, some extra stuff there. It just looks really cool. And it does say model kit Optimus Prime, all things like that. And you come to the bottom, just says Transformers Optimus Prime IDW version. You turn it this way, you've got repeat of the box art and very nice close-up shot of Optimus' face. Looks pretty good there. Can't tell where my focus is. And if you turn that way, it says all the same stuff. Turn this way, it's a continuation of the box art. Because it's a Flame Toys kit, you turn to the bottom, and that's where all the extra stuff is. So you've got articulations, good articulation with over 40 movable joints. Any pose can be easily set. I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably not true. So you got him... other videos done doing. You got him doing like a flying rider kick there, a tackle and kneeling, and then you got detail, front and rear shot there, designed to reveal a modernized shape for Optimus Prime IDW version. That's true. Content, you got all the stuff in the box. I don't know if in filming this, I don't know if the unboxing that I did for this a long time ago was made public or not. If you guys never saw an unboxing, well, that's just what happened. And you got choking hazards, you got all the things, you got a very thick UPC here. That's crazy. You got all the stuff for D4 Toys, which is their official distributor. Of course, I think we're getting it via Bluefin, technically speaking. Over here, but they are distributed via D4 Toys. You go to the website, you can get those things directly. You got their Facebook and the actual things. And actually, if you want to pre-order stuff directly from them, it comes from China. It's pretty good. But either way, yeah. New Optimus Prime, still upside down. And yeah, this is the first box I've managed to make go upside down in quite some time, so celebrate it. So, no build montage for this one, as I threw it together on my own time. But let's go ahead and get to it. Alright guys, so here we have IDW Prime out here and all of his goodness. And it is a really awesome figure slash model kit. And I'll tell you right off the bat, I did paint most of him. There's some parts that aren't painted for the most part, but he's done very nicely. The red plastic, so much better than the attack mode version, even better than the Starscream. It's not thin, it's not made of a semi-translucent, so there's no glowing. Now, I did paint over the red for the most part, and it's going to be a little crappy right here. I ran out of red paint, so the red itself got only a very light coat, just enough to sort of be there. But the real important thing was making sure that these side arm shield thingies were painted properly, because I did not want to use the stickers. And I'll talk about that right now. And you can see there's an Optimus logo, an Autobot logo right there. But for the most part, I actually just hand cut that out from the actual foil sheet. So you guys can see here, you would have to apply this entire sticker to the forearm. And it is molded in red. Actually, you can see on the inside over here, it's unpainted. So you can see it's a little, these are, now that it's under bright lights, you can see this is a darker red than this, even though technically they're both painted. But I painted it all silver, as you can see in the picture here. Then I masked off for the stripes, and then hit it with the red 2 or 3 coats until it was thick enough hence why I ran out of paint. But you can see right here the actual effect there, and I cut out the Autobot logos to stick on there. Honestly, one of the better masking jobs I did. I was very scared that I was gonna screw it up, to be totally honest. Oh, by the way, let's just go over it. The sticker sheet of all the things I did not use, you've got vents, you've got little side bits there, other little things, little black bits for inside the knees. I just painted that by hand. The red ring, though, I used the sticker. Though, in all reality, IDW Prime doesn't have red knees. He's got blue knees. I found that out after the fact. I would have just left that off. This is actually for the gun. I kind of sort of wish I'd done it. I painted it the wrong color, but honestly, it doesn't look terrible. So for the most part, I don't like using the Flame Toy stickers if I can avoid it. So I paint most of these details. You guys should be aware of this by now if you've seen my other builds. And once again, before we go too far, I'll go over the extra stuff here. So I have an entire blue runner here. It's all different hands. I just didn't feel like putting them all together, if I'm totally honest. So you have kind of an open hand here. You have a left trigger hand, a couple of different fists, the different backs, an extra thumb, and stuff like that. Oh, sorry, that's the trigger hand. This is... Alright, that's the back of the front of the trigger hands. Sorry, took me a second. He doesn't have any melee weapons. He doesn't have an axe. He doesn't have a sword. Nothing like that. He only comes with his rifle. So later on, I'll probably cut all these out. I don't know. I don't like switching out hands, if I'm totally honest. But you can see I just painted some silver on the knuckles for all of those, including the left hand that I have on him. It looks pretty good. But the rifle looks really, really nice. It is kind of a shame that it's only like 3 pieces. It's the 2 sandwich parts and then this little bit right here that kind of caps it together. It does have kind of a nasty seam line there, but given the type of plastic, I'm scared to try to glue it, if I'm honest. But you can see I did give it a gunmetal wash. That is, it was all just painted matte black and then rubbed down the way I usually do with some silver and then actually some gunmetal just to get a little more sheen, and then hand painted some of the silver here in there and there. Now I did see my buddy Sean Love. He did this one, or he's currently doing this one for Bobby Skullface, and he painted up a lot more than I did, including adding some blue bits inside there, but actually a lot of the same silver accents I did. It was quite funny. But he painted gold inside the actual rifle barrel. I might do that because that's actually very, very easy. Now he has got his rifle holding hand. It has a very short peg that goes into a polycap. Just like that. That's it. I will say the polycaps are a little bit nicer on this guy. The tolerances are a lot nicer than previous. So I really do dig it. But before I go too much further, gonna take a quick break. I know you guys hate commercial breaks. I don't care. It's the only way I can make some money at this. So gonna take a quick break right now, and we'll be right back. Okay, so back from the break. Sorry guys, you gotta do that occasionally. But for the most part, he is painted, except for the blue. So for the legs, I did not paint any of the blue. I was actually very, very happy with the blue that was here. I did have blue paint, I just chose not to do it. But down here, so this silver, all of this kind of stuff here is all the same gloss aluminum. It's Tamiya product. You guys should know I like Tamiya spray cans, so that's what I did. This is just Tamiya flat black in here, or matte black I should say. Inside the little side parts here, these little pods here, this is all light gunmetal, same thing I used on Ultra Magnus. And then it's the same thing inside here. So you can see the differences between the 2 silvers. I wanted something just slightly darker but still that metallic, and then added a little bit of I forget if that's brass or gold. I think it's gold. No, it's brass. I still had it out from Ultra Magnus. Some silver paint there in those little bitty vents. Got some gunmetal here on these little caps, and then a little bit of light blue in there to break it up. So I used that sparingly in a few places. Actually went back in and added that after the fact. You can see here on this chest, I showed on the box that those were kind of supposed to be lights. And this is clear, and I painted gold underneath the entire chest section. You can see here in this picture. But a lot of the detail does not come through the windshield and definitely did not come through there. So I just went ahead and just dotted that with some of the really super light blue that comes from the Gundam marker from the Seed set. It might even be the Seed Destiny set. I'm not entirely certain off the top of my head. But just that light blue that I tend to use for eyes and stuff. And the same thing over here on these little side lights. I would have liked to, I should have done a darker blue and then faded in the light blue, but honestly, not hating it. Looks pretty good. The head was, the silver bits were painted by hand using the same gloss aluminum sprayed in the lid of a can. And then the eyes, I don't know how well I'm going to be able, I can zoom in on it probably. Hold on. You can see that the eyes are in fact painted in there. They give you the same clear blue eyes made of the same stuff of the windshield, and it looks like garbage. By the way, there is a little bitty foil sticker in there with the Autobot logo. You can see it's a little jacked up. That's because I put it on upside down first. I did not realize I had the thing upside down. But, you know, it is what it is. And you get the Autobot logo there on the shoulder. One thing that sucks about using my newer camera that I have to keep messing with the focus. But basically, got just a mix of the silver and stuff like that. These lights or whatever these are technically on the hips, they give you stickers. I hand painted those with the same gloss aluminum, but I painted over the red paint, so it blended in a little bit. I had to do a couple quick passes and then clean it up a little bit. And then the inside under here is all that dark gunmetal. You can really see the difference between the gunmetal and the silver here. I did get some gunship gray inside here and this mechanical detail along with silver. There's some really nice mechanical detail on the inside of here, and it sucks that it's hidden for the most part. And then this bit under the shoulder, also gunmetal. And then under here, it is the gunship gray, or it's gunship gray. Ooh, got a little bit of rub there. And then a little bit of silver back here. I should have done it with some darker gray. I did panel line it with my regular panel line marker, not the pour type, because I don't really want to use that on ABS. I like the wings back here, which is supposed to be like his spoiler when he's in truck mode. It's kind of cool. He does have this little butt skirt back here, which honestly gets in the way more than anything. It's the only thing they really didn't think about on this was the way that these skirts function. And they get in the way quite a lot. You do get some wheels back here. They are only little partial wheels, like literally only like a third of the actual wheel is there. I did paint the rims with hand painted silver. The tires themselves are painted with matte black just to make them look more like rubber, less like black plastic. Also down here in the base of the foot is painted with some of the same gray, kind of like I would do for almost any kind of Gundam kit, honestly. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great details in this kit, a lot of great molding. So it's worth taking the time to really make them pop, really deviate it. If you built it in bare plastic, honestly, it would look like crap. I think that's true. And I mean, you can use the stickers, you can do all that stuff. It's not what I was going to do. Now we'll quickly talk articulation. So here's just a ball joint mounted head, so it can just, you know, just whatever. And there's a little bit of a hinge. Wow. Okay, so this is one reason I shoot live video for you guys like this, because you would not have seen that just happened just from trying to tilt the neck forward. Luckily the head does assemble really easily, but that might require some glue in the future. It really came off that ball joint fast too. That was disturbing. So let me make sure everybody's squeezed together. By the way, just if you're going to build this kit, know that in the instructions it wants you to glue the skirts together. So there's a hinge part that plugs onto the back side of the actual skirt plate here. It does tell you to glue it. I just used super glue. No big deal. But anyways, he does have a neck joint. I guess it was just stiff, so he can really stick his neck out and look down, considering he's got a very imposing feel and he is Optimus. That is pretty cool. And honestly, the way he's he's got the Flame Toys crunch. It's just a design gimmick they like. They like to have their bots crunched over. Looks good. We already talked about the translucent windshield. So you got a big hinge and pivot point here in the waist. Works really nicely. I like the tilt. Being able to tilt side to side is very nice. And then a really good hinge built in back here. So you get a very nice ab crunch. I digs it. I digs it a lot. Shoulders, you have a nice hinge that goes up and down there, and you got a little bit of a butterfly. Doesn't really kick forward, it just pinches forward a bit. It's not bad. Oh, by the way, I missed it. The top lights there painted. Oh shit. Oh wow, this actually, those went in a lot further than I actually had done. Painted those gold, found out later they should have been blue. No big deal. Shoulder does rotate, but I'm being very careful because all that is painted and there's a bit more friction. So it does go up. You gotta be careful, this top armor does come off if you're not careful, but you get the whole shoulder reach, much like that. And that's where you can really see the difference in the paint, because this is painted over silver. But if you do it right and utilize some of that movement there, you can get a high primus. There you go. I will say that even though I painted it and stuff like that, the bicep rotation is super loose, like that. I mean, it won't fall, or it won't like, you know, come apart or anything. It's just super spinny. Double quote, is it double? No, single jointed elbow. That's right. All these things are single joints, which is really strange. So single jointed elbow, good for a little over 90. Most of the armor covers it. I did clearance a lot of these joints just in case. Ended up being not a big deal. The wrist does have a pivot point right here, so it is a ball joint inside the forearm. And then you get the swivel actually at the hand. So very nice articulation in the arms. Just be wary, they might want to come apart. Now, the fact that this is all painted and squeezed together up in here has made that shoulder joint much tighter than they are, say, on the normal attack mode Optimus. Now we get to the most annoying part of the articulation of this guy, and that is the skirts. So I already pointed out, you know, it's got the hinge and stuff inside there, so we can kick these things way up and out of the way on some very scarily flexible joints, and that will allow you to try. You guys just saw what happened there. The thigh just kicked out. You can only kick that far forward because of this little round part on the side there. That's actually holding the skirts on. That's a really funny thing. So what you can do is drop the hip down on a nice little thing, and you can kick way up. Now you can see right inside here how that slider or that thing works. There's a big problem with mine, however. It probably is due to the paint. This right side one will not move. Now I've considered taking it apart and trying to clearance it a little bit, but I cannot get the right one to do the same thing, and therefore I actually have lost a lot of articulation. But if you want to swing it around, you can do that. So this top vent right here tends to run into things a lot more. Same thing whenever you're trying to do like a Jean-Claude. You have to really drop it down to come out to the side like that. And once again, because I can't move this one that much, it is very much hindered. So I would definitely say don't paint that part in the future. The way that that assembles is honestly silly. They peg together in a very strange manner, which also might be what's hindering things. But if you're just doing like a basic A stance, he'll do it just fine. Then you just kind of figure out your lean at the top. Now you guys saw that the legs wanted to come apart there. And he does now only have a single jointed knee. But it's good for a good bend such as that. One thing I wanted to paint and I forgot was this right here. I would have hit it with gunmetal. I guess in theory, if I wanted to take it apart and just give it a quick spritz, I could definitely do that. But you can see the knee is done in a gunship gray. Super easy. And one thing that's really neat is the engineering on this is, watch, this whole section here moves in to make up for the fact that you don't have a knee joint up here, which in construction looked like there was one, but that's not how it works. But that whole tire assembly disappears into the back of the calf. That is freaking awesome. I love that engineering. It's a great thing. It's got a cool slide and pivot point. Then when you're assembling it, you're like, what is this? Like, what is this supposed to do? And then it does it. And you're like, oh, yes. Okay, so the foot is a normal kind of hinge down here and a ball joint up there, or I think pretty much so. But you can rock it back and forth like so, and then you can also pivot it forward like that and get a lot more out of it. But he's got toe pivot. Look at the toe pivot. That's awesome. So you can get him in a stepping pose, assuming you can actually position the leg in a meaningful way, which I think I need to really take that apart and fix that, because that is incredibly annoying that I end up losing a good chunk of articulation for that reason. So you can pose him up. Mind you, that's a really wonky idea there. Oh, I forgot to mention these little front skirt or ankle guards pivot too. So that's just a thing. So, but yeah, that's gonna be it for articulation and stuff. Take another quick break here, and I'll compare him, and we'll do final thoughts. Okay, back again. So real quick, we'll compare him to the other flame toys. Attack Mode Prime. Wait, I guess I need to scooch everybody back a little. He's just a hair taller due to the smokestacks. That's one thing that this Optimus lacks. He does not have smokestacks. But of course, you do get the axe, a fairly different rifle. So that's pretty cool. Also, you know, the darker blue, lighter blue. This one was done with Silverleaf, which I really, really appreciate the look of Silverleaf now. Having used this gloss aluminum that does not work the way I want it to. I mean, it gives it a more metal look, I guess. It's slightly rougher, but then again, with no priming, no anything, just sprayed on there. I guess it's just how it came out. I think it does look really nice. It's just not the look I was going for. And for something called gloss, it definitely comes across as more of a matte. It's really strange. And for a legit comparison there, so you can see size-wise. So there's your Voyager class prime from Siege. And, you know, obviously Siege takes some liberties with new design stuff like that, but you can see some G1 and maybe even some designs from IDW kind of stuff. The one thing he does lack, he lacks any like yellow stuff in the pelvis. So that's a very different kind of design. But you can even see down here the silver toes is something that does carry on. And to compare to another model kit I've recently finished, there it is with a Figure Eyes standard for a size. And here he is with an HG Gundam. Obviously significantly bigger than an HG Gundam. And because he hasn't been out here in quite some time, there he is with Wally. Wally, this is another Optimus Prime. I know you've met quite a few, but it is what it is. Alright, so final thoughts wise, guys, this is a great kit. I definitely appreciate the extra development that went into it, the details, even the stickers technically. While I won't use them, they're actually not bad. Just make sure you apply them over a clean surface, stuff like that. This plastic is all like a super nice finished ABS for the most part, which makes painting a little bit difficult if you don't get a few good coats in, and so some of my paint will look like butt, you know, here. Anything that wasn't primed anyways, no pun intended there. But it's a great kit. Details are really well done. I like the pistons and stuff in there. I like the extra engineering that went into the legs. Not so much what's going on here in the hips and skirts arrangement. That's kind of annoying. I like that they give you a big selection of hands, even though really I'm not going to use them. I do wish that they'd given Attack Mode Prime way more hands. I wish that subsequent releases would come with extra hands, because this one comes with an abundance, but he only is given one thing to even do with them, and in holding the gun. I like the new mold. That's awesome. Now, they are going to run this into the ground. We've already got Nemesis that's out, or will be coming out. You can pick it up at SDCC this past weekend. It'll be available widely after that. I will definitely pick that thing up. You guys should know by now I'm a fan of Nemesis Prime. And then, of course, I assume a Shattered Glass one will be coming in the future, just like I mentioned before. They already have the Attack Mode Shattered Glass coming, and I'll be getting that. I thought this was a nub. That's actually part of the mold. That's funny. Any problems? Mostly just those hips, the way that's designed. I figure it'll probably work better if it's not painted. So if you are going to paint it, I definitely suggest do not paint the area around the hips. I was trying to get this to move. In fact, it started twisting on me. Because it's ABS, it had enough strength that it went back into shape, no problem. Some of the things want to split instead of working like they should. In some places that just gets a little bit wonky. I suggest doing some paint work to it. Maybe you don't have to go to the nines if you're a painter like myself, or you just want to give some stuff to it, or if you really want to see like the version that Sean Love built. I'm wondering if Bobby's actually going to review that or not when he gets it, but it's beautiful. I love the way he did it. I'm just not a big metallic paint fan, but I love this kit. I think it's a good one for the price. Flame Toys is just doing good work. I've got Bumblebee coming up sometime soon. I really do like that kit as well. IDW Megatron coming next, I believe. Really look forward to that, but I'm going to have to get a lot more silver. Guys, give me a big old thumbs up if you like this kit, if you like my build. Hopefully you found this informative. Hopefully you watched most of this review. I know I went back to the normal review style for this. Probably what I'm going to stick to doing in the future, just to see. I don't know. But, you know, it's easier for me to film all at once for the most part. But also, check out the Shoky merch store. Check out the Patreon if you want to become a patroneer. They already got to see some stuff ahead of time. They're probably going to see this review ahead of time, because I'm kind of spreading things out a little bit, along with the fact that they got to pick one of the builds that's coming up sometime soon. But guys, I will catch you on the next review. And remember, as always, to keep on building.